Oh, Alatreon, you've been out for basically a week, and half the community hates you and the other half loves you. Half of them hate you because of your Eschaton judgment and think it's just a boring, dumb gimmick, and the other half thinks it's an amazing gimmick that pushes you out of your comfort zone. And there's both merits and both rights. But overall, I have to say, Alatreon has become one of my favorite new monsters to fight. I still haven't killed him, and I'm still trying to make new builds to beat him. And because of that threshold, it's made me learn new weapons such as the dual blades, which is a weapon I would have never picked up. I picked it up just so I can get an edge on your threshold, since they're basically the king of elemental damage. And overall, because of that, I found a new favorite weapon. So thanks, Alatreon. That being said, there is a swath of the community that still haven't killed him, like me. However, I have not only the Alatreon light bowgun, the hammer, and the dual blades, but 3 of his armor pieces. Now, how can that be? How can I have so much from Alatreon, yet not have killed him? Well, quite simply, what if I told you there's a way to make his armor and upgrade his weapons and make his weapons without having to kill him? And all you need is Part Breaker 3 and the Plunder Blade. So let's just jump into it. So first things first, I hope you have your Plunder Blade. We're an Iceborne, so I hope you do have it. It's not very hard to get it, and there are plenty of guides out there to how to get it, so I won't bore you on the semantics on how to get it. Next, you're going to want Part Breaker 3 because the whole goal is you're going to want to break his parts. Overall, Alatreon isn't hard to break his parts. I think out of all the parts to break, his wings are the toughest, just because you have to down him in order to get a clean shot at them. But other than that, breaking the horns, breaking talons, and getting his scales are easy, because all you need is the Plunder Blade. The Plunder Blade won't give you the tail, it won't give you the gem, nor will it give you the wings, but it will give you literally everything else. And getting the gem isn't that hard, because the horns have such a small threshold to break them, especially if you run Part Breaker 3, that it's almost a breeze to get it. In my attempts to try to solo him, I have gotten 2 of his gems just by breaking his horns twice in the fight. So overall, it is easy to get his gem, so it shouldn't be a problem. His talents are easy to get because either A, you'll get at the end of the screen because you break his claws, or your cat will be able to plunder it using the Plunder Blade. The scales are easy because all you have to do is let the cat do its Plunder Blade job, and bada bing, bada boom, you got the scales. That just leaves you the gem, the wings, and the tail. With the tail, you're going to want to tenderize it. It's going to be the only thing you focus. The tail is pretty easy to break. I was able to break mine before his first Eschaton judgment, so you should have an easy time. I'm telling you, Part Breaker 3 is going to be the best thing to run. Also, I highly recommend you do this solo, because that way the thresholds to break his parts will be a lot lower. If I was going to say to choose the body part to break first, go for the tail, because you get 2 cards off of it, and it should be pretty easy, because I personally did mine before his first Eschaton judgment, so you should have an easier time. I used the Greatsword for mine, by the way, if you were wondering, so just use anything with a good severing damage, you'll be fine. Next is the wings. The wings is hands down the hardest one to do, just because it's so up there and out of the way, and unless you run out of bowgun or something else, you're not gonna have a fun time. But you're gonna want to tenderize his wings constantly. You don't want to let up. You want to have it tenderized 24/7, and you're gonna try to flinch shot him as much as you can and try to get those knockdowns. You're going to just focus your ass off to break those wings. And at the end of it, you can return from expedition and you should have at least 1 wing broken. Next are the gems. The gem is harder to get just because you have to break the horns twice in a fight. And that's at least what I've seen and how I've gotten mine. So you have to survive at least 1 Eschaton judgment in order to break these horns, but since the horns have such a small threshold, you should have an easy time breaking them. So, shouldn't be too tough. It's all about luck at that point. So far, I have 3 armor pieces from Alatreon, and I have 3 of his weapons. So, it shouldn't be too tough to farm them. And remember, You don't have to kill him. All you have to do is return from expedition, and you will keep literally everything, not only that your cat got, or what you picked up, or what you damaged. You will get everything. However, you will be wasting resources, so if you don't think you can do it, abandon the quest. You won't get any rewards, but you won't lose any of your items that were used up. So other than that, just run Plunder Blade, run Partbreaker 3, and just break as many parts as you can. Eventually, you will be able to make his armor. It's a little bit time consuming, but if you can't kill him, there's only one other way to do it. Or if you're just farming him and you need a few skills, just jump in with the Plunder Blade, jump in with your cat, and you should have an easy time. I made this video because I haven't killed Alatreon yet. And I want to make his armor because his armor is pretty decent against them due to the elemental resistance you get. And it is good if you want to do elemental damage. So, if you don't feel comfortable fighting him yet, or you need a little bit more of a juice up and you don't have Safi Jiva armor like me, or Kajar weapons like me, and his dual blades are pretty good, just jump in, break some parts, and make some armor, and make the weapons, and you'll be fine. Or if you don't care about killing him and you just want the armor to flex on your friends and look cooler than everybody else, because I gotta say, that beta armor set is pretty nice. Jump in and just harvest them. It should be an easy time, so good luck out there.